Pierre Poilievre is facing problems within his own party. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Spent last week in Western Canada, Saskatoon and Calgary. Time at Stampede. Heard from plenty of people upset at Pierre Poilievre. It's not the Doug Ford conservatives from Ontario. It's not left-leaning conservatives. It's not establishment media. These are rock-ribbed conservatives who are saying, look, there's a problem. And the leader either has to change his ways or he has to be changed. That's the reality of the situation and how some people see it. Now, I'm reporting on this, and I'm not saying it's fatal to Poilievre. I'm not saying he has to go. Not advocating for any of that, but there's an awful lot of conservatives reacting to this with a true and unlike gaze that say any criticism of their dear leader must come from a liberal place. No, that's not the case. Look, the conservatives were ahead for a year and a half, 2 years. They lost the election. There's going to be people who are upset. And what I'm hearing now is very different than what I heard in the days and weeks immediately after the election. Things have changed. Back then, people were saying, okay, well, we improved, but yeah, we lost, but we improved. And so they were willing to give Poilievre the benefit of the doubt. Now, weeks later, that is starting to fade and the grumbling is becoming louder. That means that Poilievre has to do something about it. He is the leader. And if he wants to remain as leader, then he's got to address these issues. He's got to talk to people. I spoke to Poilievre on Tuesday, as I noted in my column for the Toronto Sun, and he said that he is out there speaking to the grassroots. He's speaking to local campaign managers. He is speaking to members of EDA boards. He's speaking to candidates who lost, people who are in his caucus as MPs, and trying to get their sense of what happened and what they can do to improve. He did also mention that he's in the awkward position of not knowing who the real Mark Carney is. You know, Carney spent 20 years pushing a radical environmental agenda. Now he's getting rid of the carbon tax, talking about building pipelines. Poilievre compared it to the real Slim Shady, the Eminem song. Will the real Slim Shady or the real Mark Carney please stand up? It's a valid point. But he's at the disadvantage right now. Carney is being given the benefit of the doubt by, well, voters and premiers like Danielle Smith and Scott Moe who need their projects to be approved. And until Carney doesn't deliver, they're saying that they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's where an awful lot of voters are. And the voters that Pierre Poilievre needs to win over aren't the hardcore conservative voters who backed him. It's the swing voters who went to Carney last time. You can't just sit there and say, I will, just be in my own little corner and I will not worry about anything else. That's not how you win an election. Politics is about addition, not subtraction. So if you're going to be upset that someone like me is saying Pierre Poilievre has problems within his own party, then you might actually be part of the problem and not the solution. If you want Poilievre to win, then you have to be hopeful that he is going to listen to the criticisms that are coming from within his own tribe and encourage him to make changes to improve in the next election. Yeah, he did great in terms of the popular vote, didn't win enough seats, and that, in the end, is what counts. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below, share this on social media, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.